go into the asset store inside Unity. It's going to look like this. You'll need to sign in with a free account to Unity. You don't have to have a paid account. Just make sure you have some type of Unity account and be able to sign in to access it or download stuff. But in here, if I just typed in something like castle textures, right? And then on the side, set it to free. There's a lot of free stuff you can use. So right here, there's some free props, there's some asphalt materials, and some 4K textures right here for some bricks, right? So those will actually be perfect for creating this castle right away, right? So to get that, it's free. I can just say download. It's going to ask me to sign in, so let me just do that really quickly. Sign into my Unity account, and I'm just going to go ahead and download those into my project. And the great thing is, anything on the asset store from Unity you can use in your projects. You know, there's paid stuff, there's free stuff, there's lots and lots of good stuff in there to use. I personally sell models on the asset store myself. There's a lot of really, really good stuff in there, so I highly recommend it. And it just makes things go a lot quicker if you're trying to get a design together. You can find some really, really good stuff right off the bat on the store, so check that out. Now these are 4K textures, so it might take a minute here, so this is just downloading. And I'll show you how easy this is with Probuilder to put these in, to at least put some base textures in. It's going, it's going, it's going. Just give it a second. This is where I speed up the video for you guys. All right. Or not. Come on. And a lot of times what people do is they'll have different volumes of stuff, and they'll give one away for free, so you can get the first volume for free, and then if you like it, you know, obviously you can buy their other volumes. Looks like that's probably what they were doing. These guys were. So in here, I'm going to import this. After you download, you have to import it. So I'm going to click the import dialog. It's then going to decompress that package, whatever it downloaded, and then import it into the project. So you'll get this little import window. It'll just show you everything that's in here. That's all great. I'm going to say import. And then it's going to bring it into the project. And then down in your assets folder, we should see a new folder created with all the new fancy materials in there. So it's going. Again, these are 4K, so it might take a minute. So I got a lot of good stuff in here. Someday. Wow, really taking a while. Must be a lot of good textures in here. Almost there. This is what I get for downloading a 4K texture pack. All right. So we've downloaded the texture pack. You can see now in your hierarchy, now that we've downloaded that, it has this new little folder in here from Adventure Forge, the guys who created that pack. And in here we have all of our materials that we can use, right? So if we open up there, it looks like the MDP materials scene. We have a bunch of different textures that they just pretty much give you for free, which is awesome, right? So if I go back into my scene view, I've got these nice materials already that I can use. And to apply these to these Probuilder objects is as easy as clicking and dragging them. It's super, super easy. So that's one way to do it. If I went to, which looks like the floor right here, I could just click it and drag it right onto that piece. Now the one thing you're going to notice right off the bat is that it's a little small in terms of the size of the level that we were creating, right? It's a little bit on the small side. But to fix that, we could just click on the material and then come into the material settings and change the tiling. So they have it set to 4 right now. We could change that back to 1. And then the secondary maps, change those, look like to 5. And we should get a better result. Here, let me go back to, oh, looks like it's still, that's weird. Didn't update the tiling, which is interesting. But we can change that, not a big deal. Kind of curious why it's not updating. That's strange. Huh. Why isn't that changing? Huh. Usually when you adjust the tiling, you see the tiling difference on the material. But today, that doesn't seem to be the case. That's really weird. So whatever. We'll fix that. Okay. So anyways, you can easily just go in and drag and drop these different materials onto the specific pieces. So, you know, we've got some columns right here. We've got, you know, this piece right here, these walls, right? Just literally coming down and just dragging these pieces in. Maybe I'm going to mix up these two right here. All right, super, super simple. All right, just grab that, grab that. Just click and drag them on, like nothing to it, all right? That guy, this one, was that like a, or maybe we'll use this particular material for that. Kind of like a nice concrete material. Use the same for up here. Maybe I'll make that one a little bit darker. I can just adjust that material, come in and say, hey, you know what, let's make that a little bit on the dark side. There. All right, we'll come in here and we'll grab that. All right. Maybe on the ground here I'll use this. There we go. We'll use that concrete. Okay, cool. So pretty simple, right? I've got some nice textures on there. Now there is some irregularities in the textures, like right here. So you notice how the patterns go differently, especially when you have angled textures. It's going to start moving those UVs around. But we can also edit those. And you'll notice on something like the column, some of them match up nicely, but other sides don't. But with UV tools, we could also fix that as well. And so really quickly, just briefly in the UV tools, oh, one of the other really nice things about Probuilder, just to show you really quickly, is we don't always have to use the same material on a particular piece. We can use multiple materials on a single Probuilder object, which is nice. And the way that works is, and I'll do it with the column and maybe these walls here just to mix it up. So inside Probuilder, we have this material editor window right here. And inside this material editor window, we have the Probuilder default material preset as its standard one. So anytime you make Probuilder, it's always going to have that Probuilder default kind of grid material. But we can add or slot in new materials into these other slots whenever we want them. And I'll show you how this works. So let's say I really like this kind of darker material right here. Let me go ahead and open up my material editor again. I'm going to drag it. Well, this is kind of weird. Maybe I got to kind of see both at the same time here. Let me slot it in so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go into the second slot here. I'm going to drag in this concrete right here. And so now I've got the Probuilder standard. Let's grab in another one of these, I don't know, these bricks right here just in case. And let's grab in another, let's get this like kind of cracked stone. We'll put that in there too. So I've got some other materials kind of slotted in there, right? So if I have an object selected that's a Probuilder object, if I just click on some of the materials, let's say this bottom part, right? I'm going to come in here and just highlight these edges right here. Let's say I wanted that a different material, maybe even the one above it, right? To get the ones below it right here. And we'll grab that, and whoops. And let's go ahead and grab the top part right here. Just highlighting the faces that I want to change, right? And let's do the top also. Let's grab these, just grab that. And that looks pretty good. Oh, get the back part here. All right. So I selected those different parts that I like, right? If I wanted a different material on those, whatever I have slotted in, you see these hotkeys right here, like Alt-2, Alt-3, Alt-4, right? If I can either click them, and it'll automatically set that material that I have set for that particular slot to that, or I can do the hotkeys as well, like Alt-2, Alt-3, right? But now that I've done that, see, now I've got two different materials on here. That just helps like with the variation of your design, right? So you can add multiple materials to your Probuilder objects to just kind of add a little more variation, right? On this particular guy, I really like to tile this a little bit better. Oh, see, that's tiling, right? I don't know why the other one wasn't. Let's say we went like 2.5, 2.5. There you go. All right, just kind of helps blow that texture up a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. It looks like also on that texture too, there's things like the normal map we can increase if we want to, or the height map, or even the occlusion we can change on there too. Maybe even the smoothness you can probably change. Yeah, there you go. So pretty cool, right? There's a lot of stuff you can do with that. Oh, if we brought this down too, let's go 5. There you go. Okay. So as I run up to that, right, it looks a little different, looks a little better than just the same stone, right? Mixing materials up is key when you're using Probuilders. You don't want to use just the same material and stuff. You want to, apply different ones, get some different looks to things like that. I'm going to do the same thing to these walls right here. And I just need to really worry about the fronts. So I'm just going to come in here and again, just Option 2. That didn't work. Hold on. That puts you in 2D mode. Maybe just click the button. There you go. On these other ones, I'll do the same. Let's get the bottoms here. And I'll just change that button. Can't change that one. All right. So you can add a lot of nice extra detail just by swapping out some materials, right? Come in here, say that. Maybe this whole middle piece, we'll just change that whole middle part right there. Same on this gate right here, we'll just change that whole middle part. And then maybe just add in the same kind of texture. Oh, maybe that one too. Just kind of add some variance, right? This is really, really quick. We haven't done a lot, right? But we're starting to add a lot of extra detail just by adding in some extra different flavor with the different materials we have, right? So I'll just come in here, just kind of change these up. This guy too. Change that. And here. Let me change all those. So you're not kind of bound to just using one material. You basically set your faces different materials inside of Probuilder. right? So you can really get away with just a lot more detail and look to things just by kind of adding in these extra textures. It's really going to help in the long run on your designs, and just the look of your projects. It'll look that much better just by just kind of mixing up some of these materials. Let's go in there. Oh, whoops. I'll just change this. Okay, that's pretty good. I kind of like this one. I want to use that also. That's good. All right, pretty good stuff. All right. Maybe I'll, you know, I'm going to duplicate this one real quickly. Command D, duplicate this material, and for the metallic, I'm just going to change this up a little bit. I'm going to say none. We're going to really just crank up the metallic on that. Make our own material for that object. There we go. Right for the top. All right. Just modify the material to get a desired look. All right. You know what? Maybe I'll reuse this also. The top of this tower right here because it looks cool. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we've got that. Let me put this inside that column real quick. I'm going to go ahead and ditch my material editor here and just throw this inside that column. Exactly right there. Yeah, there we go. Did I do that right? No. Hold on. It's not the one. Oh, where's the other one? This is a pyre. Okay, we'll take this column. Where was it at? Gate, column. There we go. Alright. Alright, that looks nice. Okay, I've got some different pieces. Looks good. I just, you know, I'm kind of OCD, so I'm going to add some extra detail on this column really quickly. So, and here, I'm just going to grab those, and again, open my material editor, and we'll change that. And on the bottom part right here, we'll go ahead and change that as well. And 2. There we go. Okay, that's better. Now I feel okay. All right. Okay, so I've got basic kind of palette pieces here ready to build my level with. Again, I'm building a castle, so I think that this is perfect to run with. Hold on, let's just make sure here really quickly. You know, at the top of these can probably, I want that to match the stone, so let's just fix that really quickly as well. Again, I'll just go to my material editor and change that. Okay, now we're good. All right. Really quick. Okay, great. Got my materials ready to go. Great. So you see, it's pretty easy to add materials into Probuilder. Now to fix materials, we'll get into that a little bit later. I don't want to throw that all on you in one day. They have a UV editor inside Probuilder. So if you do get materials that are not kind of aligned properly, like for example, this column right here, how those don't look right, I could come in and change this later. But if I do it right off the bat when I start, it's just going to be that much quicker. I don't have to go in and change everything in my level. But to fix that, if you open up this UV editor window, inside Probuilder, when you select a face, so let's say like these two right here, into my UV editor window, if I want to see both at the same time, if I just click this convert to manual on those faces, I can then drag those UVs, let me zoom in a little bit, so they match up a little bit better like that. So you can kind of move the actual faces, because they're already unwrapped when you use Probuilder, which is really nice. But I can kind of adjust those so they match up better to the textures next to them, right? Or you can even, you know, contract them a little bit or whatever to get that look, right? So if you need to do any little tweaks, you can go in there and do that with the UV editor window for Probuilder. And this is another one of those windows you probably want to dock somewhere like on the side of your scene so you can see both at the same time and things like that, and then just ditch it when you're done with it. Right. So just a heads up on that. I'll get into more kind of advanced UV stuff later, but for now we're just doing basics. We want to build a little level up in Probuilder here. Okay. So let's go ahead and save right now, and let's go ahead and build a terrain, some kind of ground that these objects can sit on, so we can start building this castle out. Right. So inside of Unity, this is outside of Probuilder, and actually we can close our Probuilder at this point. I'm not going to use it for right now. I can just close it. I'll come back to it later. And I can also turn my ProGrids off right now too, or just get rid of them. Go to Tools, ProGrids, close ProGrids. All right, so now we're just back to basic Unity. Got some nice Probuilder stuff in there to use. But I need like a ground. I need an area or a world I can actually kind of put all these castle pieces in, right?